This episode is brought to you by Ariston Specialties in Bloomfield, Connecticut, makers of amazing olive oils and other Greek delights. Check them out online at aristonspecialties.com. That's Ariston, Ariston, specialties.com. Welcome to the all-new Faith Middleton Food Schmooze Party podcast. All new recipes that we like to make, and we hope you will too. This time, we're going to make or teach you how to make French bread pizza. I'm not talking about buying the dough or making the dough. I'm talking about using French bread to make a pizza. You don't even have to buy this dough. That's the amazing thing. The all-stars are here with me this time. We have Chris Prosperi, chef and co-owner of Metro Bis in Simsbury, Connecticut. We have Mark Raymond, our wine guy and food guy, I should say, and he's in Wethersfield, Old Wethersfield. And Carl Franklin, our editor and associate producer, and of course our mascot, my rescue dog. He's a corgi. He's half corgi. He's Bonbon is his name. So let's get into French bread pizza. Chris, this could not be easier. We're talking about, and you know, you can get a hard exterior on long loaves of fresh bread. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the soft exterior, right? And what's our first step? It's like cutting it lengthwise.
Yes, cutting it lengthwise. And I mean, there are so many different types of bread you can use in this category. What I've been doing lately, and again, I started out making these on the French bread, the thin baguettes, but I found ciabattas. Do you know those? They're like a longer rectangle flat kind of bread, and they work great for this. You slice it horizontally in half, right? So you get two big halves, and then I put those on cookie sheets, right? I usually like lining them for easy cleanup. So line them with some foil or a little parchment paper. And then just think anything you do with pizza. Like the other night, I made these with pesto. So I took, and I even had a store-bought pesto in my refrigerator. So I just smeared on both sides, on both of those halves, a nice layer of pesto. And then I, had some rotisserie chicken that I, broke up in my hand and put that on top. And then I sprinkled it with a just teeny bit of mozzarella and Parmesan cheese, drizzled it with some extra virgin olive oil, sprinkled some sea salt in it. And I like my, even my bread pizzas a little on the crispy side. So I go with a little bit of hotter oven. So I go 400 to 425, throw it in there and cook it until it starts bubbling and it gets nice and brown.
It take about 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. 10 minutes tops. You're really just melting it because like you said, the bread's already cooked. So you're really just melting it and heating it. And again, if you like it crispy, you want to leave it in there just a little longer to get that bottom nice and crunchy. And then I take it out. I put it on a cutting board. I usually let it sit for a minute because it can be bubbly hot, right? You don't want to burn yourself. And then I cut it with a nice big knife into nice pieces. And I take it and I sit on the couch and watch a late night movie and drink a nice glass of red wine and off I go.
There we go.
Oh boy, that sounds
He's
good.
off to the races.
How about you guys? What do you put on top of yours?
Well, okay. So, I'm a keto guy, so I don't have French bread. In fact, my world of bread right now is is two companies, the Hero, bread, the tortillas and the buns and the bread. And also I make homemade bread from, Fox Hill Kitchen's mix. So, I don't want to take up too much time, but I will say this, that when I was doing the Two Keto Dudes podcast regularly, there came a thing called Fathead Pizza. And you can just look up Fathead Pizza if you want the story of it. But it just appeared on this guy's blog. It was his brother-in-law came up with this pizza crust. And it's almond flour and cream cheese and mozzarella cheese. And you sort of put it all together and it makes a crust. Everybody went nuts for it. So I have my version of that, which I haven't made in a long time, admittedly, because almond flour, I don't know, it sits in my gut like a rock and it's a little heavy. But it's pizza.2keto.com. So that'll take you to that recipe. But just last night, I made pizzas on these Hero tortillas. Mark, I gave you some of these, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. How were they?
They're delicious. They're amazing. I love them. I'm almost out.
And they just taste like regular wheat tortillas. Yeah. So I basically have a cast iron pan. That's about 12 inches. Squirt a little olive oil on that, maybe medium heat, put the tortilla down, put some sauce. I use Rayo's, marinara. It's the lowest carb.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah. And it's delicious. Oh my God. Rayo's is amazing. It's the best store-bought sauce I've ever had. And then some mozzarella cheese. And in this case, I took some pastrami and cut it up and got that hot. Some pastrami navel. That's the fatty stuff. Ooh. And I put that on top, give it a little bacon flavor, some grilled onions. And, I had 2 of those. Pizza cutter in 4 pieces. That makes a really filling dinner for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It does.
Yeah. So, Carl, to your point, that recipe you had mentioned, that keto recipe for the dough, the woman that works with me here in the office at Carolina Wine Brands USA in Wethersfield, she made that recipe for us one day for lunch, and it was absolutely amazing.
It is pretty good.
She was describing it and was going, I said, well, I don't know.
Right.
But when she made it one day for lunch, she brought it in and, she had nothing but beautiful meat toppings on top. It was awesome.
So good.
The thing about it is it's very filling because, the thing about regular pizza crusts is that it's a lot of carbs, right? So you get the cravings and they continue, I have had the situation where I've eaten like a whole large pizza and I'm still hungry. I'm full. My stomach is like, no more, but I'm still hungry.
I know.
You don't get
Nothing
that
like
with
those
this.
carbs, right? Hey, you know what I wanted to do before you go, Mark? Before you get into your thing is, I forgot to say hi to, our show has a best friend and her name is Lee White and she's one of the great, food people and recipe writers around. And, we just want to reach out and say hi to her right now and that we're thinking of her. Okay, Mark, go ahead.
All right. So for me, I'm kind of in that world with Carl right now. I try not to eat a lot of bread because of a gluten issue that I have, but I can do it every now and then. So when I do go for bread and talking about pizza toast, I love to take the Portuguese rolls and cut them in half.
Yeah.
Toast them in the oven. And then what I'll do is I'll saute up a little bit of mushrooms. Maybe button mushrooms, but maybe some shiitakes and just saute them in a little butter on the stove for a second. And then I'll come back and put them on top with a little bit of sauce. I usually have a little bit of leftover pasta sauce from the weekend Sunday sauce in the fridge. So I'll utilize a little of that, a little fresh mozzarella, maybe a little Parmesan, toast it in the oven, and bam. Absolutely amazing.
So
Boom.
you toast yours first before you put stuff on them.
I do.
I did see that. I was doing research for this online and I was going all over the place and I saw that there was people in 2 camps. Some people toast the bread first and then put all the stuff on and then retoast it. And then some people do what you do, Mark. So that sounds
crispy.
Really good.
But there is one other crust that I like to use, which is more of actually a pizza crust, which you can find in any frozen food section. Chris, you've probably seen it. It's there's a cauliflower crust out there.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good thing.
And you get 2
use.
in a pack, and they're not really big, so you can make a nice little oven pizza. It's already kind of partially cooked, so you just finish it off in the oven, and it's absolutely delicious.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break right here. And then when we come back, I'm going to tell you one of the ways I like to do my French bread pizza. And really you can do anything you want. So we'll be right back. I'm Faith Middleton. Of course, you're listening to the all-new Faith Middleton Food Schmooze Party podcast with the gang, the all-stars. I'm talking about Chris Prospero of Metro Beast in Simsbury, Connecticut. And we have Mark Raymond of USA Carolina Wine Brands. And we have Carl Franklin, who is also our editor, besides being a source on this show and a regular. So I like anchovies, so I like to do my half French bread slices by putting anchovies on them. So, of course I put the sauce down first. I always make the same mistake. I put too much sauce and then it soaks into the bread because it's cut and then it's all over the place. So,
I love that though.
I know. And then I just buy pizza sauce in a jar. I'm not like Mark, who makes a wonderful Sunday sauce. That's his own. And then I put all kinds of things on there. You can even buy your pepperoni slices already pre-sliced in a package.
Yeah.
And so if you don't even want to stand there and cut your pepperoni, you don't have to. You can put vegetables on it. You can put absolutely, cheese, various kinds of cheese. You can do mozzarella. That would be pretty traditional. You can do feta. You can do cheddar. I saw someone doing these on those old-fashioned slices of Wonder Bread, just little squares. And they were doing pizza with these toppings we're all talking about on these little squares. And they just put, 4 or 6 of them on the aluminum sheet and just cooked, and the kids absolutely love this. And, the kid in me absolutely loves that too.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody got anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I want to open up the discussion of different cheeses.
Ooh.
Because we could just go on. I know we can go on and on about cheese. I like Taleggio melted.
Oh my God. What a
anything.
delicious cheese.
Yeah.
Stinky,
Isn't that good?
Stinky as all get out,
Yeah.
but oh my God, so good.
Yeah, it's not quite Lieberkranz or,
Yeah.
that kind of stink, but yeah, it's got a little funk, but it melts.
But it's good on a it's good on a flatbread or a pizza.
Oh, you leave that in an open room for a couple of minutes and people are like, what happened?
Well, that's true.
I know.
Stinky is in the nose of the beholder.
I did that once in a hotel room. Seriously, it was awful when I came back in.
It has to be one of the
I was
hotels
staying
that the
over to
windows
catch
don't
a
open.
plane, it's like a couple years
no.
ago. Oh no, it was awful. Okay, so some people, will put salami or whatever they've got in the. I saw someone online who was first did a fry pan, a saute pan of sausage, and sauteed it on the stovetop, and then put that as one of the layers, and did it like a deck of cards across the whole half. Each one was a little shorter than the next. And so it was, across the entire top of the pizza half.
Solitaire
or
pizza.
The French. Yeah. It's a good name.
A friend of mine who's an avid listener of the show, and doesn't drink wine, always says to me, why do you always say wine? Isn't there anything else we can drink with this kind of food?
Yeah.
So
Nope.
I'm going to throw that out.
No.
I'm going to throw that out to Mark, right?
Absolutely.
If I was not a wine drinker and not a beer drinker, what
What is
could
this
I have
other drink
with these
you think you're
flatbreads?
talking about?
Well, I was the natural reaction would be to go to beer because beer and pizza go tremendously together. But
Sure.
I mean, now there are so many of these low alcohol, ready to drink, beverages in a can. I don't want to mention by name, but
This person wants no alcohol, right?
no
No,
alcohol.
wants
then-
alcohol. No.
Oh.
She wants alcohol.
Just not wine.
She just
Yeah.
doesn't drink wine
Oh,
or
just
beer.
not
She wants to know,
wine.
can I have a bourbon? Can I have a scotch? Can I have
Absolutely.
a cocktail?
You can have
What would go
anything you
best?
want, darling.
A margarita,
Absolutely.
There's so many. I mean,
Why is this person even asking permission? I mean,
right.
No, not asking permission, but was wondering, do I have to drink wine with this? Because I want a bourbon.
Right.
Yes. Why are we stuck on wine? That's a really good
So
point.
I guess there are other things we can drink.
we're wine snobs.
I think we all just love wine. That's why we always talk about
agreed.
it. But
But she's right.
I love beer as well. I mean, beer is tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, Faith and I are always up for a gin and tonic. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would go good with pizza if you're sitting on the deck.
yeah.
Well, but usually when you eat pizza, you eat mass quantities. So that's why beer is good because you can drink a lot of it while you're eating a lot of pizza. So bourbon, you'd probably want to water that down with some seltzer or some, maybe in a mixed drink.
Yeah. How about a mule, with a little bit of ginger
Ooh.
beer?
There you go.
And a lime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark and stormy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that one got my dog Bon Bon to lift his head up off his bed, off the side of his bed.
So Bon Bon's with my friend. It's like,
Mule
yeah, you don't
did
have
it.
to drink wine. Bring out the booze.
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew I liked
well.
Bon Bon for many reasons.
So, again, you just have to pop this in the oven. If you do 375, 400 as Chris does for like 10 minutes, because you're not cooking. You're just heating something.
Toasting.
And it depends how crispy you like it or want it. And you're all set. And I do mine on 375. That's the way my stove runs. Chris has got a much better stove than I do. So you do use it what? 400?
I like 425. Yeah, I like
okay.
it because, again, it gives it that really, and it goes fast, but it gives the bottom that really good crisp, like crunch that I love in my pizza.
Is there any better pizza place in Connecticut than Pepe's in New Haven?
No.
No, I didn't.
No. And the white clam pizza is to die for.
But that's in Connecticut.
It's
in
true.
Rhode Island, in Providence, there's Al Forno.
Al Forno.
And
Real
it is
pizza.
a stunning pizza.
It is.
One of the most
it.
amazing pizzas I ever had at El Forno. They had a butternut squash with a hot pepper oil. And it was unbelievable.
Yes.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Mark, this is amazing because one of the best pizzas I've ever had there was fresh corn and that hot pepper oil.
Yeah.
So I think they were doing versions
The
of
sweet and
Oh, my
and the
God.
spicy.
Oh, my
Yeah.
they know pizza there.
Yeah, they do.
But Pepe's is also just you know.
Yeah, and I've gone to the other branches of Pepe's, like the Mohegan Sun and stuff.
Not
They're
as good.
just not the same. It's just a name.
I think it's the oven.
Yeah. Something about an oven from the 1800s.
Chris, could that be true? Is it
Oh,
that
yeah.
coal-fired oven?
Yeah, hotter,
Wood-fired.
seasoned from the 20s. Same
Yeah.
oven. Oh, yeah. Don't you have pans? I have pans that I got from like my mom that I swear cook better than any new pan I've ever bought. And it's not like it's a fancy pan. It's like a regular cast iron pan, but I always say because it's been used thousands of times and it knows how to cook because it's done it so many times before. And it really
Seriously?
does. Everything I make and it comes out better.
Yeah.
You think it flavors? It actually flavors things.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd also like to throw in for pizza though. I think pizza's one of those things because I grew up in New York City. Pizza's one of those things that you find the best pizza in your neighborhood and that becomes your pizza place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has a favorite, like, I'll give
so
you
local.
Pepe's if you're in that area, but I have a favorite pizza restaurant if I'm in the area where my restaurant is. I also have a favorite pizza restaurant when I'm home.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not driving back to Simsbury to get pizza. I'm going to go to the closest best pizza to my house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't feel like, cutting that piece of French bread in half. Because that is a lot of work. You just
sometimes you just want a greasy pizza that someone made for you.
In Guilford, Connecticut, I like Carpenzano's. I don't know if anybody knows it, but they do fresh clams, and so I get shrimp too, and then I get bacon, so I have clam, shrimp, and bacon.
Oh my God!
On the one pizza.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Well. I think we should do this subject about 500 more times. We really could. We could just really talk
do
about
it by
this.
state.
I'm sure we haven't really even investigated the drinks enough. So
Not at all. Not at all.
So much fun. I just want to say thank you to Chris Prosperi and Mark Raymond and Carl Franklin. I'm Faith Middleton, and we'll see you next time for the all-new Food Schmooze Party Podcast.